Hi, this is Alan Schimmel at DevOps.com, and we're here at DevOps Enterprise Summit London 2016, Day 2, with Martin Croker of Accenture.
Alan, good to be here.
Thank you. Good to have you here. Martin, you presented earlier today, and why don't you share with our audience a little bit about what you presented about?
Yeah, thanks, Alan. Well, really, I was talking about the journey for an organization to enterprise IT, and I was using us as an example. When you think about Accenture, we're a pretty big business with a fair few clients operating on a fair few technologies in a fair few geographies. So
I think that's fair.
I thought that could make an interesting story.
Yeah, and you know, what were the, if you can, I don't know if it'll work well, but 3 key takeaways I think that you tried to present to the audience.
Okay, well, I mean, the first takeaway was I don't have the ability for full command and control across everything, but what I do have the ability is to create a nice, easy path. So a lot of focus on things like our DevOps platform, which we've created to enable projects to mobilize to DevOps incredibly quickly.
Mm-hmm. I think that is true, and you know, interestingly, and I dealt with a bunch. We had a few people from Accenture up here earlier. Marcus, I think, was here.
Yeah, that's right.
Not only Accenture, a lot of the big consultancies, and that includes the IBMs and HPs of the world as well, right? They don't have full command and control of their clients' infrastructures and businesses, but yet they are incredibly in many ways leading the transformation at these engagements.
I mean, our clients are really looking for us to take a lead for them in DevOps and make sure we're bringing DevOps by default and those good software engineering practices to everything we do.
So so in my mind, in previous lives, I've helped start up some, consultancies. It's almost your job to graft onto the tree, perhaps, is a good way of thinking of it, sort of a DevOps branch, if you will, and it has to be grafted and grow organically. And how do we do that?
Well, it's like so many presenters talking here today. They're describing how they've achieved change and transformation, but done so in the context of a lot of constraints.
Right.
And it seems true of us or Accenture as a service provider when we go and work with a client. It's around understanding what their constraints are, what our constraints are by virtue of the contracts in place, and then doing everything we can to move towards, DevOps, lean engineering, and ultimately client value through doing that. So,
Martin, have you gotten to the point where you can identify, let's say, success factors that will result in a higher degree of success than, let's say, in other engagements?
It's an interesting question. Sponsorship and people, I would put first and foremost. If a client's aspiration is around agility and driving rate of change and many of the things that we've heard on stage today that are the outcome of DevOps, that makes it a lot easier to do the process.
Sure.
The more the client wants to be able to be agile and the more the client wants to be able to be a leader in their industry and be disruptive, creates that environment where they're willing to start challenging and helping us with some of those constraints.
I happen to agree with you with that. And again, it goes back to another sort of common theme that we hear over and over, about culture and about people, right? Talking to Damon Edwards and John Willis earlier here. If you treat the people right and the people are involved and the people are maybe there's a lesson here for our politicians. If the people are involved and the people are happy and the people are, they make it happen. And there you have your success.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, if you think of our business, what Accenture do, and one of our primary things we sell is people with skills.
Yes.
Absolutely, we have to look after our people.
Yes, absolutely. So let me pivot now to the DevOps Enterprise Summit. What compelled you to present?
I guess there are a few factors. Firstly, I passionately believe in the things we're talking about. I've done DevOps in one way, shape, or form for 20 odd years. The idea of making software development better through engineering is great. That DevOps exists is now there's a word that describes what I've always done. So from a personal perspective, I'm just delighted to be part of and participate in the community.
Yes.
Corporately, but there are both potential buyers here at the conference today and also potential recruits.
You know, the person before you here from the betting network was saying they need to hire good people, and what a better place to find good people.
I mean, people who are passionate about DevOps work for companies they want to work for. You know, it's a buyer's market when it comes to recruiting talent, right?
It is. It really is.
So it's not just about the package. It's about the ethos of the company. It's about the core values. It's about participating in things like that.
Are they having fun?
Being able to participate in open source and fun. Fun's a big one. Absolutely.
You know, I can understand that. No one wants a job, right? Everyone wants an adventure.
Yeah.
And we see that a lot here. But beyond that, you spoke about the personal sort of enrichment that one gets at this kind of thing. Our audience at home, unfortunately, doesn't have the chance to be here.
Yeah.
You know, maybe they do, but most of them are not. Can you describe what, you know, personally, what was a highlight for you?
I think I was really pleased when John started talking. So it was great to hear some stories of clients or, you know, organizations more accurately who have been on a journey and their successes, and to kind of get that feel that it's becoming sufficiently mainstream that, you know, as an industry, we're hitting that point of acceleration. I was also really pleased to hear John talking about the cultural aspect and burnout and the importance of that. I mean, that was some great things to hear as well, right?
If you have a minute, I'd love to dig in on that, because I've spoken with John about burnout for a long time. Because look, when you're in this industry long enough, you see it, unfortunately, firsthand, and it manifests itself in the whole spectrum, right? On this far end is you hear horror stories of people who do stupid things to themselves as a result of burnout, right? But, you know, there's the day-to-day burnout where it's not fun anymore. Well, why are you coming here every day if it's so miserable and you're so burnt out? I mean, what compels you? Is it the money? I mean, in some people it is. But what can we do? And at Accenture, I mean, you are about your people. You have incredibly talented people. What do you do to, and maybe not you personally, but, you know, how do you avoid this burnout issue? How do you keep it fresh?
Well, to some extent, actually, it's about creating a culture where people can enjoy what they're doing, and that's something that we focus on quite a lot. I believe you interviewed earlier Marcos.
Yes.
And his team love working for him. You know, he creates this vibrant culture of inclusivity, enabling his team to get to conferences. There's a fair few of Marcos's team here today. Yeah. You know, really focusing on making them feel valued and part of something bigger. I think it might be that part of something bigger aspect. I don't think any of my team's primary motivation in coming in is just the salary. Not in the UK, at least. I mean, geographically it vary. It'd be far more about what we're able to collectively achieve as a team, the difference we're able to make, that feel that we really are pushing the leading edge and really are innovating, and then cascading that innovation across the firm the size of Accenture. That's the thing I think people get up for.
It jazzes them up and gets them going.
Jazzes them up, yeah.
And that's so important.
It really is.
Well, Martin, we're about out of time. I wanted to thank you for speaking with our audience today. Thank you so much for appearing at DevOps Enterprise Summit. And, you know, Accenture is a company, I was actually talking to Marcus about it. We've done a miserable job at DevOps.com of covering the Accenture story, frankly. And we'd love to hear more about it and bring it to our audience. So I'll be reaching out.
Yeah, I'd love that too. Thanks,
okay.
Alan.
Martin Croker, Accenture. This is Alan Schimmel for DevOps.com.